The sect leader is following Bira. She thinks that Bira's light step ability was astonishing. It was making her blood boil. She then follows him, not wanting to give him a chance to escape. On the other side, the demon brother slowly wakes up. He sees that Tanyu was unconscious. He then yells and pushes and slaps his sister away, telling her not to interfere in his battle. She falls down and then runs away. The demon angrily starts kicking Tanyu, stating he was a trash. She then remembers that Tanyu stopped seeing her and moved his sword away, which caused the blades to reach him and hurt him. The demon, furious with Tanyu, wanted to take his body and add him to his collection. The little girl then apologizes to Tanyu, then she senses someone coming. It was Bira. He arrives there and the demon and the girl notice him. Bira remembers hearing that there were dangerous people. Bira asks the demon who he was. The demon is confused hearing Bear and asks what was wrong with him. He then says that he is a little busy and tells Bira to wait, as it had been a while since he found something useful. Bira sees Tanyu and asks what happened and what he did to him. Bira then starts getting angry and releases his aura. The little girl, seeing her brother in danger, rushes in. The demon thinks that it was nothing. Bira shouts to leave Hyung go and attacks the demon. The demon with Bira's force gets thrown back. The sister demon then comes running. The sect leader senses this. Bira was also caught off guard by the little demon. Bira is confused to what was going on. The demon also had no idea and thought if it was him causing that. He questions why his ability was acting on his own. He then realizes something and shouts. Bira is astounded by the aura and is surrounded by a whirl of ominous smoke. The aura starts getting nearer to Bira. He gets annoyed and releases the force of his power to repel that smoke. Out of the smoke, people with knives come out to stab Bira and he gets hit by them. Bira then falls on the ground. On the hot spring town, the grannies are talking about their fight from earlier. One of them asks if the runaway children, the skill that boy used, was dangerous. Then the other one says that the boy was no big deal. The one that shocked her was the girl that followed him, the girl named Yewa. She was the real monster. While falling down, Bira remembers talking with his grandpa telling him to promise not to throw his life by trying to be a part of another person's life or take part in another person's story. Bira is on the ground, the girl is crying and watching Bira. Yewa watches everyone as she remembers the word, to save her brother Baiwang, as he is a great being and raised a family name. So, the little girl was to risk her own life and protect him. Yewa then goes to Baiwang, but he scolds her instead and then beats her. He thinks that she was looking down on her. He had told her not to touch his weapon and was scolding her for not doing as he said. He then tells that their mother had told them that he is a great being who will take over the Northern Sky Demon sect. How dare she put her pathetic hand on his weapon? Yewa cries while her brother says that he does not need it. He then out of furiousness attacks Bira. The blue smoke almost reaches him. Right then he is pulled out of the blue smoke's way. The sect leader had reached there. She carries Bira and dodges the attack. The demons are surprised to see her. She then stops and checks Bira's pulse. She feels that Bira is dead. But wait, what was that strange feeling, that energy that she felt? Baiwang then starts attacking in rage again. He plans to kill all of them. The sect leader thinks if she is mistaken. She then lays Bira and tells him that she will prepare a resting place for him. Unsheath energy sword. The sword comes out of the sheath and she catches it. She then releases the sword spirit. She then starts fighting. She manages to push and negate the blue smoke. Both the siblings are shocked seeing this. They then move out of the sword's attack range. The sword energy was too powerful for them. Before he could blink, she was already near him. She then asks that that was not everything they got. Baiwing says that it was not. Then they start fighting. She wanted to see how far his strength went. She attacks, but even after blocking her he incurred damage. The little sister was worried seeing this. The sect leader then keeps attacking him. The sister is very worried and runs to her brother in tears. The sect leader recognized her and questions her if it had been 3 years. The girl looks at the sect leader in confusion while the sect leader tells her that she should have stayed hidden in the shadows. The sect leader then looks at the girl and reveals her face asking if she had forgotten her. She then remembers that dreadful night. Village burning to ashes and sect leader's hand on a girl's throat. The sect leader furiously tells that now she appeared before her, she will send her off as well to the arms of her eradicated family. The little girl remembers that their mother said to protect her brother at all costs. Seeing the sect leader, she got the memory of her mother being killed and then she starts to run. Was she afraid of death? The feeling of despair from her core should have been something that she should have experienced before and something that she should have felt deep in her bones. She should have been hiding in the shadows. The sect leader comes to her to give her a send-off to the arms of her family. She then swings her blade. She manages to dodge the blade. The sect leader manages to trip her. She falls down, but she starts running again. The sect leader says that she does not know the reason Yewa is running or why she came there, but the sect leader tells her not to commit any sins in her next life. Yewa reaches to the axe, looks at her brother and then starts fighting with the sect leader with it. She then starts radiating the blue aura, her skin color changed. There were eyes on her hand and the axe. The blue smoke surrounds them. The brat, it was the web of the dead warriors. This was dangerous. Yewa then attacks the sect leader. She manages to block it. It could be fatal if she even falters for even a split second. The little girl keeps sending the undead towards the sect leader. On the other side, the elder with the young one was running toward the sect leader. His hooves were starting to pain. He asks himself what he was doing, as in this age he should be going on relaxing vacations. He feels that he is too old for this. Kalan then reaches there and asks the elder what he was doing there, and why the hell was he wearing that funny mask. Kalan asks if he was with the sect leader. The elder replies that he is and warns Kalan that he will be punished once he returns to the sect, and then coughs. He then tells Kalan to go to that ominous magic as they must hurry to the leader's side. Kalan then understood the assignment. He also rushes there. The sect leader is dodging the blue smoke as much as she could. But the smoke kept following her. Her mask then falls off and she starts glowing. She releases the sword spirit. Blade of the Crescent Moon. She then attacks her undead. She manages to cut off numerous undead. With the blade slashes, the girl gets hurt too. Yewa then tries to run. The sect leader follows her. While following her, she sees that Tanyu was there lying on the ground. She sees him and stops. She is puzzled as to what he was doing there. She then attacks Yewa. She gets hurt. She looks at her brother, but she could not risk saving him, so she goes away. The sect leader then runs to Tanyu. After she had let him live, what was he doing there and why was he like this? The sect leader was confused. She then checks Tanyu's pulse. She was relieved to know that he was still breathing. She then tried to carry her, but he was too heavy even for her. Someone grabs her sword. She is confused and looks back. It was Bira who was saying that she was bad. The sect leader was confused. Wasn't Bira dead just a moment ago? It is raining heavily. The bears are running towards their shelter. They get in the shelter. Inside there is the old man's crown. Here the sect leader was sure that Bira had died, but he was breathing right in front of her. He then starts to release tremendous aura, catching the sect leader's sword. Bira was calling her bad. The sect leader shouts not to misunderstand. Bira reaches out. The sect leader is confused, and she kicks Bira. Bira then stumbles on the ground. The sect leader was confused to what she had done just now. She kicked him without thinking. She then asks if Bira is okay. Bira then again starts releasing steam. He gets into position and dashes towards Tanyu. He was really fast. The sect leader barely managed to ditch him. Bira then crashes into the buildings. It was dangerous. The sect leader questioned who the kid was. He then hears Tanyu talking and then looks at him. Tanyu calls her beautiful and says that there was something that he wanted to know. She then gets startled and leaves Tanyu. She was startled that Tanyu called her beautiful. She then realized that she had dropped her. Bira then comes dashing towards them. Bira again reaches out to Tanyu. He tries to grab him, but she stops him and blocks his fist. She realizes that Bira's eyes were closed. Then blocking Bira's attack started to hurt her. She questions Bira's strength. Shen then again kicks Bira, and he is thrown very far. To stop Bira's attack, her hand had broken. She realized it and she could not believe that a kid could have such a power. Tanyu starts to pant. The sect leader, thinking that he needed immediate treatment, plans to go away from there. She then is able to carry Tanyu again. She looks at Bira and questions what in the world was going on. Bira was lying unconscious in the rain. The sect leader takes Tanyu and runs away from there. Bira then again wakes up. He was just beside the demon brother. He then again says bad. Then releases tremendous amount A equals of aura. He then dashes toward them again. The sect leader is running on full speed. Kulan then catches up with the sect leader. He sees that the leader was carrying that bastard again and was furious. He then asks the sect leader the reason to continually getting involved with this man. He was just useless to their group. Kulan then questions if the sect leader had feelings for such an insignificant and ugly man. He then sees the sect leader's arm and asks her why she was bothering carrying him in this state. Being affected by things like feelings would only threaten their Northern Sky Demon sect. Kulan asks the leader if she knows this. They look back to see that Bira had almost caught up to them again. Kulan sees the kid and remembers him from earlier. In the hot spring town, the sky looked like the moon and rainfall reflected off from the bottom of a well. Banjo was smoking a pipe and thinking it may be ominous, but it felt exiting at the same time. It seemed that the rain clouds were gathering. Corian comes in to tell Banjo that the investigation team from the ghost family are said to be passing near the vicinity tomorrow at noon. She says that she shall prepare raw meat and blood just in case. Also, the nobleman and the chief priests from the southern region will be stopping by to rest in 5 days' time. After what she had discovered, they were in their way to altar of 100 souls in the west to offer a sacrifice. He then asks if the elders form the 4 demon sect left. They were aching due to rain, so they were enjoying the hot springs. Banjo thinks that the elders' mood had improved and asks about Hugo's investigation. She says there has been no information. Banjo tells Corian to try and give him a chance. Corian then looks away and tells Banjo to mind his own business. He then laughs and opens his cupboard. Corian looks at Banjo in confusion. He then takes out a sword from the cupboard. Corian asks why he was taking out that antique. He then says that he only had a strong feeling that he should clean that. In the forest, Bira is chasing after Tanyu. Kulan comes out of the jar to attack him. He comes out and tells that he won't let him pass this time. Bira heads towards him. Kulan uses his hypnosis, but Bira was not even fazed. Kulan looks at Bira in surprise, seeing him pass through. He noticed that the brat's eyes were closed, so the hypnosis would not work. Kulan then runs after Bira, trying to stop him. Kulan thinks if Bira is targeting the sect leader because of Tanyu. He uses his snake technique and binds Bira in the swarm of snakes. He thinks that he got Bira, but Bira easily manages to break through the snakes. The snakes turned into ropes. Kulan was shocked to see that Bira had seen through his attack. Bira then releases a huge amount of aura, and with the aura clad around his fist, he then hits the ground, causing a radius attack. Kulan was shocked by that massive attack as Bira sent the entire region flying. Kulan tried to run away from the attack, but the attack was faster and managed to hit him. He could not evade. The sect leader carrying Tanyu was seeing all of this. She then takes out her sword and uses a technique called 10,000 blades. She uses the blades to stop the attack and find a path. She wanted to take Tanyu to the elder as he needed to be treated quickly. Tanyu was dreaming about his friend again. Bira then catches up to them. The sect leader thought he was relentless and asked if he wanted to fight. She then calls back her sword. With ferocious eyes, then she tells Bira that she will fight him and give him a quick death. She then releases the energy sword and executes Sky of Emptiness. Kulan was afraid, seeing that the sect leader was going to use the death skill, but using that will hurt her too. So Kulan stops her from doing that. He goes to the sect leader and asks what the pendant was and why she gave it to him, and asks if she has feelings for him. Sect leaders then tells Kulan not to cross the line, else she will be his death. Kulan then did not want the sect leader to get hurt. So, he plans to end it. What do you think Kulan will do? Comment below. If you want more of this, do let us know. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us in this recap journey. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button. Comment if you have suggestions, want more of the series. Don't forget to share it with your friends. Do subscribe if you want more similar content. This is Universe Nexus, your passport to the immersive realms of anime and manga.